Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the After Hours Gaming League. We are in week number 8, and this is your host, JW Schmo from Team Raytheon itself. Raytheon is playing EA in this week, and we've got a fantastic matchup going on here between these two teams. They have taken it to the ace match. Synth and Icon winning games number 1 and 3. Raytheon taking a forfeit from EA, putting them in the mix, making it 2-1. A decisive game number 4 between Foxwoods and Shidaraki, pushing us into the ace match, with Shidaraki taking the win in a ZVP matchup on Heavy Rain. And so now I'm very happy to bring to you Yansu ace match between Raytheon and EA. Let's get right into it, sir. In the upper right hand corner, playing for EA as the Blue Protoss, is Synth, and I can say from experience, Synth is indeed at this very moment in the game. And in the bottom left-hand corner, his opponent, playing as the Red Protoss for Raytheon, is the Enigma himself, Puzzle. And unfortunately for everyone out there that watches my YouTube channels, all 3 of you, I know who you are, we are going to have an ace match that is a PvP, much to the chagrin of everyone. For those of you that watch the Pro Leagues, which probably is everyone that's on my YouTube channel, you'll know that in the Intel Extreme Masters, SOS took down Heroic in a PvP matchup where they weren't even playing StarCraft. They were playing mind games with each other, and it just so happened that SOS knew exactly how to play Hero for the win. Hero not scouting very effectively in games 1 and 2, and SOS going for a proxy 2-gate in both games. And so what that tells you is that really Protoss games depend on build order. And if someone goes off on the wrong build order tangent, doesn't scout, it's game over. Speaking of the scouting, it does look like Puzzle is going to be going and making a little poke up here on Synth. Going to be doing a little bit of looking around. It's going to see, looks like a single assimilator from Synth, a little bit late actually on the second. Does in fact look like Puzzle is going to be going for a little bit heavier gas here with the 2 assimilators, going with a Cybernetics core. So preparing for some sort of play here. Puzzle really could have messed up his opponent there, laying down the assimilator there, shutting down that extra gas mining from Synth. However, he decided not to do that. Both of them at 2-pylon play, and really just a typical opening. I mean, the only real difference here right now is a late assimilator for Synth, going for a second gateway, so it's going to allow him to pump out Stalkers faster. Puzzle a little bit delayed on his second gateway. You know, a little bit also late on the Warp Gate research. And really at this point I think he's really delaying. He wants to get that Stalker out, wants to take control, wants to have that scouting being done by Synth shut down. I think really that's what his plan is here. Get that Stalker out, shut down that probe from scouting, so that he can do something with all that gas that he's been building up. Synth doing some very interesting play here, only going for 2-2 on the assimilators. Wants to get his mineral count up, most likely going to go for some expansion or for a lot of gateways all at once. I would assume the expansion. I don't think he's going for the all-in at this point. Synth though, excuse me, Synth is in the game. While he's in the game, Puzzle has decided to make a little bit of a change here and go for a Stargate. Now, quite frankly, for Puzzle, this is typical PvP matchup for him. He'll go Stargate, he'll go, what will he go? He will go Stargate and he will go Phoenix. And he will utilize those Phoenix to pick up every single last unit that you have and float them in the air 20 feet above. So Stalkers, Blue Stalkers, I hope you're not afraid of heights, because that's what you're in store for in this matchup. Not a terrible much known about Synth. He has been Masters in the past. Actually, both of these players have been Masters in the past. Synth currently gold in the ladder, Puzzle diamond in the ladder right now. So I think what you can argue is maybe Puzzle a little bit more aware of the current metagame. However, Synth, a very formidable player, probably one of the top 2 or 3 on the EA team. So certainly nothing. Certainly an even match here, without a doubt. I don't want to misrepresent here EA Synth. Very good player all around. Alright, so Puzzle doesn't disappoint, going for the Phoenix here. Let's see what he's able to do with it. He's going to be able to get a little bit of scouting out. He's going to see that Synth, well, he hasn't seen the second base. He is going to see it now. He does know that that's happening. Doing a little bit of harass here on this mothership core. Well done here by Puzzle, trying to do a little bit of damage, floating around. However, he is going to go right through those stalkers. Oh, and that one Phoenix is clinging to life and just gets knocked off by the mothership core. It was like that kiss of death. Like, you know, the mothership core is descending to the ground in pain and agony, and it launches that last desperate photon overcharge. And that photon overcharge is going to leave the haunt. It's going to haunt Puzzle in his nightmares, taking down 2 Phoenix. Not worth the trade, I don't think. 250 minerals resources to 500. So 2-to-1 advantage there for Synth at this point. And Synth, not disappointing, going for 5 gateways, getting the Twilight Council, getting the robotics facility. Puzzle taking out a probe there at the Twilight Council. Synth doing an excellent job there, getting the surround on that one Phoenix, taking down at about half health. Gonna have to swing back, not able to do a lot of damage there. Looks like Puzzle is afraid for the Dark Templar play. Don't think it's happening at this point. And Synth finishing up some units and going for High Templar, Templar Archive. So I typically won't see Storm in a PvP. There's not really much damage invested in High Templar. However, they do get Colossus. Now, not Colossus. What am I talking about? They do get Archons. And the Archons are important for one very specific reason. And that is, they cannot be lifted up by Phoenix. So those Archons can sit there and hack away at all these Phoenix and not have to worry about getting lifted up, not actually having to worry about getting attacked at all. So Synth, a very intelligent decision there on his part in order to get the High Templar up and get the Archons up. So well done, Synth. Unfortunately for Raytheon at this point, I don't think Puzzle is currently aware that's happening. He's going to get the scout out. Going to try and do a little bit of damage. He's going to lift off a couple of these stalkers out. There's 2 more there. He is going to be able to see the fact that he is going to have to deal with High Templar and Archons here shortly. However, that was very good placement of stalkers here by Synth, shutting down the harass by Puzzle. I think Puzzle a little bit at a loss at this point on what he can do in order to bring this back into his favor. And Synth's saying right now, hey man, you build as many of these Phoenix as you want. I'm just going to kind of sit here on 2 base, and I'm going to keep doing my thing. It does look like the Puzzle's Phoenix are going to be able to take down a large number of units right here. Very well done. Sneaks in there. Going to get a couple more. Needs to get out, though, before the Stalkers are able to do some damage. Just off microing there a little bit. Does bring it even, alright? So we do have a good number of probe floss, 9 probes, in fact, for Synth. However, he's still up 5 probes to his red opponent, which is not good for Puzzle. Puzzle a little bit low on the gas right now. Really needs to get that up if he's going to be effective. And going for Immortals. Alright, so what's happening here? He is seeing the Stalker play. So he's going, alright, there's a ton of Stalkers, so I need to get Immortals up in order to counteract that. That's what this is. That is a reaction to the scouting information he has. He is going to be able to get in there and do a little bit more poking around. Not going to be able to do terrible damage. Really just trying to do poke here a little bit. Archon now, in effect, going to be able to shut down a long stay there by his red opponent. And Puzzle a little bit shut down here in his ability to really harass his opponent. Synth very effective there. Now here's what we're seeing though. Synth going for a third. going to get that third base. He's going to get the rock shut down, so he's going to have very quick movement between his 3 bases. And it does look like now he's making the transition into Zealot. He's back on Stalkers, got the Archons and Stalkers, and he's making the transition into Zealot. Why is that important? Well, quite frankly, the counter of 4 Stalkers is Immortal, and the counter to Immortal, one of them is Zealot. So unfortunately for Puzzle, the fact of the matter is Synth is going to have that nailed down real quick here soon. He's going to have the Zealots. He's going to be able to basically neutralize these Immortals. And that is going to put him in a little bit of a precarious position. That all being said, quite frankly though, right now, Synth has the advantage in the total unit count. He's going to have 3 Archons here, and it looks like he's going to be moving out. And I'm not sure Puzzle has the army value at this point. He is going to get a little bit of a drag here. He's going to be able to drag some of these Stalkers back and around. He must know that he's in a little bit of trouble here, because the problem is a lot of that army count that's giving him 108 are these Phoenix, and they're not going to be able to do a terrible amount of damage against these Stalkers, while on that same note, these Zealots are going to be able to absolutely massacre this smaller army that he has here. So it's really not looking terribly good here for Puzzle. Really, Archons will be good at this point. Archons will be absolutely fantastic at this point. And Synth is going to try and take down that third. He is going to do it. He's going to try and take it out. Oh, and he diverts. He's going to go right into that natural. Looks like he's waiting. He's going to get the Archons up front. Wants to be able to do a little bit of damage here. Zealots are in. Photon overcharge. This is the match. This is what's going to decide it. A little bit of force fields going down here. These Archons are going to be able to do a little bit of damage. And these Zealots are coming in, absolutely destroying the Immortals. The Phoenix coming in, trying to lift off the Stalkers, but that's not what he really needs right now. He really needs these Zealots gone, and it's not happening. These Zealots are tearing apart these Immortals bit by bit. The Stalkers not doing the not being subdued the way they need to be. Phoenix is completely out of energy at this point. The probes are having to come in, and I'm not sure it's going to make a difference at this point. More Stalkers coming in, and the unit count is heavily in favor of Synth. And ladies and gentlemen, a devastating loss for Raytheon in the ace match. PvP against EA. Synth able to take it with some very good, sticking with his core values, going and transitioning into High Templar, into Archons to ward off the Phoenix play and the Phoenix harass. And ladies and gentlemen, EA takes game number 5 of the best of 5 and is going to up their record to 5-3 and dropping Raytheon down to 5-3 as well, tying them up in the division standings. So ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, JW Schmo from Team Raytheon. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned next week.